Yes, everyone, how are we doing? And welcome to the match preview for Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. It is the first Premier League away day of the season. We're going to Selhurst Park, a place that has caused us a few issues over recent years. However, not this time, I'll tell you that. I'm going to talk about everything about tomorrow's game in this video. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. I'll be covering everything Manchester City related across the 26-27 season. There'll be match previews just like this one, post-match reviews, match day vlogs. I've got my Bournemouth one out. If you're not seeing that, feel free to go check it out to get a little taster for tomorrow's, because I will be going to the game. And look, let's not waste any time because there's an awful lot to get into in this video. And I think the best place to kick things off is just a quick little recap, a quick little update on Manchester City's sort of transfer situation that's going on coming into this window. I'm only going to touch on it briefly because I've been covering it constantly all day, every day over on TikTok. If you're not seeing them, go and check them out. But we've been busy, boy. We have been busy over the past few days. If we're looking at just since that Bournemouth game, Savinho's officially left to Tottenham Hotspur. Marmoush's move to Tottenham Hotspur is pending an announcement. Maybe by the time this video comes out, it will be announced. Nico Gonzalez, likewise, with that move to Newcastle, gutted about that one. Ayoub Bouaddi, we finally had the announcement for, which is brilliant stuff. He might even be part of the matchday squad. We'll talk on that player a little bit later on. Excited for him. Jack Grealish, of course, he featured in that Bournemouth game, came off the bench, got a fantastic warm reception from the Manchester City fans, but it looks like we could be losing him. Sunderland are interested in getting him. I think that'd be a fantastic signing for Sunderland. When we look at incomings, like I said, Bouaddi, he's been announced. We've got a player having the medical at Manchester City today, Allen, a Brazilian winger, 22 years old. If he's having his medical today, I don't know whether he'll be part of tomorrow's game or not. I'm not too sure. If the reports are true, then we've got another big going in for Enzo Fernandez very soon. Of course, he won't be part of the Palace squad, but Coventry after that, there's no reason he won't be playing in that. He'll be match fit. There's absolutely loads going on. 5 days remaining of the transfer window. If you want to stay updated all day, every day, go over to my other socials, check them out. But the only one that I think will really affect Crystal Palace is Bouaddi. Bouaddi is a blue. At last, a transfer saga that's gone on for weeks and weeks and weeks. It looked like we're never going to get over the line in the end, but we have done. He'll wear the number 32, City's second only ever Moroccan player. Just 18 years old, just spent £85 million on him. And well, what does that mean for Crystal Palace? Because he's match fit, he's ready. He's played in pre-season for Lille, so we know he's ready to play. And look, of course, I'm filming this and it's going out before Enzo Maresca's press conference, but we'll find out then whether he's going to be part of the matchday squad. I'd be stunned if he wasn't. He's got to be part of the squad. And I honestly wouldn't be stunned to see him part of that Manchester City starting 11. When you take a look at midfielders that City started against Bournemouth, we had Rico Lewis in the midfield, which didn't really go too well for Maresca. Nico O'Reilly thought had a great game. Elliot Anderson had a good game, but came off with a little bit of a knock. I mean, of course, Matt Gay, he formerly of Crystal Palace, did a good job playing in midfield, playing in that number 6, but was he just in that number 6 because City didn't have a proper number 6? Nico Gonzalez was on the verge of a move to Newcastle, and of course, Rodgers now a Barcelona player. Was that the reason he was playing there? Bouaddi is a 6. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see him start. I hope he does. But he is one of the main reasons I'm very excited for tomorrow's game. I'm just excited in general. Football's back, City's are back, away days are back. But I think we could be seeing Bouaddi's debut, Bouaddi's Manchester City debut tomorrow, which I'd be buzzing to see. I mean, interestingly enough, I'm not saying that they both end up being as good as each other, but Kevin De Bruyne made his Man City Premier League debut against Palace. Just saying. Speaking of Crystal Palace, we move on to them now. I think this is a good time to play them. I think Crystal Palace, a little bit similar to Manchester City, have sold a few players, got a few issues going on at the football club, need signings. They're going to have a busy final few days of the transfer window. Of course, likewise to Manchester City, they've got a new manager, called Robert Sarge, something like that. Know nothing about him. To be completely honest, know nothing about him. Signing from Lens. Their first game in the Premier League didn't exactly go as great as Manchester City's. They got beat 2-0 away at Got beat 2-0 away at Hill Dickinson. However, I think the 2-0 scoreline was a little bit harsh on Crystal Palace. I watched it on Match of the Day, and I thought Palace created a few chances. If Mateta had his goal-scoring boots on, then to be fair, a bit similar to Haaland with City against Bournemouth, it'd have been a much fairer scoreline for Crystal Palace. They can definitely cause us a threat. You know, they've done it plenty of times over the recent years. However, I think this is probably a good time to play Palace while there's still a little bit of that unknown factor about that Sarge. They've got a few players that won't be playing due to trying to force a move, or certain injuries that are there, or just certain players that haven't been replaced yet that will be coming in the final few days. I think this is a good time to play Crystal Palace. A bit of Friday night football at Selhurst under the lights. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? I mean, speaking of Selhurst Park, this will actually be my 3rd consecutive season going there. 2 years ago I went. This is straight off the dome. We won 2. No, we didn't. We drew 2-2. Rico Lewis scored for us, then got sent off. Lacroix scored for them. Mateta scored for them. Can't remember who scored the other City goal. Maybe Phil Foden, not too sure. However, last season, and over a fact, City won 3-0. That was a good day out. Haaland scored twice, and Foden scored once. Hopefully, a similar result to the 3-0 this time tomorrow. And look, what should the City fans be expecting for Crystal Palace away tomorrow? Because there's a lot more optimism coming into this game than there was the Bournemouth game. Of course, before Bournemouth we were coming off the back of that Community Shield game, which was a total disaster. I feel more positive, and I think a lot of City fans do off the back of that Bournemouth game. I've seen a lot of reactions to the Bournemouth game of people feeling Maresca got lucky, City got a late escape out of jail. I put a match review literally for that reason. I know it was late after the game, but I still made one because I felt like there was a lot of positives to take, and I spoke all about them, strictly on the Bournemouth performance. Go and check it out if you're not already. But I feel a bit better coming into this game than I did the Bournemouth game. We had a clear sort of idea of what Maresca was trying to do, how Maresca was trying to set up against Bournemouth. The only question is, will he do the same now with Bouaddi being there? Will Gahey go into midfield? Will Rico Lewis play? Nunes made a big impact off the bench. Ryan Cherky, he made a massive impact off the bench. Surely he's got to be starting. He's got to be one of the main names on the team sheet after that performance. I think it will be interesting to see how Maresca does set up. Like I said there, Cherky. I mean, if Cherky doesn't start, there'll be riots. There'll be absolute riots. He said himself, Maresca, that Ryan Cherky is visibly angry. He's visibly annoyed. He doesn't hide it from the manager. Doesn't hide it from the team. He's frustrated when he's not starting. Of course, he's coming off the back of being at the PFA Awards. He was in the PFA Team of the Year 2026, and deservedly so. He looked fantastic, by the way. And I think in that Bournemouth game, Ryan Cherky's impact off the bench, he gave City that extra bit of quality that we're sort of missing at that moment in the game. It sort of slowed down for City, of course, trying to get ourselves back into it. And he's nailed on to start. He is absolutely nailed on to start. Mark Gahey's the one I find most interesting. Of course, his first visit back to Selhurst Park, I believe, as a City player. Of course it is, yeah, because he signed in January. His first visit back to Selhurst as a City player. Where's he going to play? Because I thought he did a fantastic job in midfield, considering what I was expecting as well. It was unusual. It looked a little bit unnatural going forward, but I thought he slotted in perfectly fine. And I might be slightly unpopular when I say this, or on the unpopular side of things, but I won't mind to see it again against Crystal Palace. Just trial it. If Bouaddi's not too ready, will he have had maybe one training session as a City player? It is a big jump. It is a quick step. Just 18 years old. We've got to remember that. That's one of the things I think we've got to keep an eye on this season. I understand there's so much excitement over Bouaddi and all the hype around him off the back of the World Cup and his performances in the French League. A lot of money spent. The most expensive teenager in Premier League history. I think, of course, across the course of his Manchester City career in the future, he will prove why we spent that money. But I don't think we should be expecting him to come straight in, jump straight in, and be the solution to all our problems and be our new Rodri. Time. And I look at Crystal Palace and how dangerous they can be on the counter, how physical of a team they can be. Look at Mateta up front. I think Mark Gahey, he's got to be nailed on. To be fair, he's got to be nailed on whether he's starting in midfield or centre half. But when I think of Crystal Palace, I think Pino, the pace of him. I think Mateta, the strength, physicality, pace of him. Ismail Assar linked with Liverpool, linked with Galatasaray. Don't know if he wants to leave or not. I don't know if he'll start or not. I hope he doesn't because he's a top player. He's a big threat. And when you think of these, it's physical, it's aggressive, it's fast. We need the likes of Vidal on the pitch. We need the likes of Gahey on the pitch, even in midfield or not. Kusanov. I'd like to see Kusanov start, but if he's in a right back position, I want to pull my hair out. In fact, instead of doing all this, I'll just go into the team that I've noted that I think we should start. Based on what I've seen in Bournemouth and based on our opponents being Crystal Palace, this is the team that I would start for Crystal Palace. And to be fair, I don't think there'll be too many disagreeing with this. I've gone, of course, with Donnarumma in net. Nunes coming in place of Rico Lewis, whether he's in it right back on midfield. I think it was quite a fluid formation against Bournemouth. Everyone was sort of a bit everywhere, and I didn't mind it. It works. We won the game. So Matheus Nunes, I'll go Mark Gahey, whether that's him going into midfield or centre half, whether he can just sort of drift and do both. That's fine. Abdulkadir Kusanov. If Nunes is in there, then that's fine. I don't have to worry about Kusanov playing because he will be at centre half. I think because of his pace and his aggression, that'll work very well against Crystal Palace. I think he's more suited to him, that type of opponent. And then likewise, what I said about Kusanov, Josko Vidal, I think he's our best defender. Genuinely, I do. I think he's a Rolls Royce at the back. Clearly a finisher in front of goal as well. The quality of that goal against Bournemouth. He's got to be starting for me. I think the back four is fairly easy to pick. And you might be looking at that back four thinking, where's Nico O'Reilly? Well, Nico O'Reilly's in the midfield. He's in the midfield, of course, alongside Elliot Anderson. I know we went off with a little bit of a knock in the Bournemouth game, but from what I've read since and what I've heard since, he's fine. He should be fine. Fingers crossed he's fine anyway. I'll definitely be starting him. And then I'm going to go with Rico. Look, I'm joking. I'm only doing that to wind a few people. I know people don't want to see Rico in the starting lineup. But to be fair, Rico Lewis, when he's against Crystal Palace, the man scores goals. Put it this way, out of everybody's reactions, I'll be one of the calmer people. If I see Rico Lewis in the starting lineup, I don't mind him. I like him as a player, but I don't think it will be him. I don't think it works fantastically against Bournemouth. And like I said, we're talking about a physical, aggressive side like Crystal Palace, a pacey side. I don't think it's the type of matchup for Rico Lewis. I'm going to go with Phil Foden. Now, I understand that Phil Foden didn't have his greatest of games, but when you look at the options that City got, Jeremy Doku out injured, The signings in midfield aren't really there. I think Phil Foden's got to be starting. Now, I've put Phil Foden in the midfield and then Ryan Cherky on the right in my mind. But like I kept saying, very fluid in the Bournemouth game. They'll both sort of rotate. They'll both sort of fill in for each other. Very similar players to each other. Both can do a job out wide. Both can do a job in the middle. That's fine. Out of both of them starting, of course, Antoine Semenyo and Erling Haaland up top. Bald Erling Haaland, by the way. When I did the Bournemouth preview, he had long, luscious hair. Skinhead Haaland. Scary sights. And yeah, that team there, I think that'd be a winning team at Selhurst Park. I think that's more than good enough to leave and carry on as we mean to go on. Get another 3 points. Then it's Coventry after that. Another 3 points. Not Crystal Palace, sorry. Manchester United after that. Easy 3 points. Mauled by the Tigers. Game after that is Sunderland at home. They've got European football to think about. I think City, I said it in the Bournemouth preview, I think City's start to the season is fairly favourable. And to be fair, on paper, you look at if City were going to be slipping up, Selhurst Park might be one of them. But like I said at the start, I think this is a great time to play Crystal Palace. They're not used to the system and the new manager. You know, they've not had long with him. Like, to be fair, City's not had long with Maresca, but still, we've got better players. They've not had too long with their manager. Question marks over a lot of their players' futures. Some signings that they've made won't be ready to start yet. Some players that they've sold aren't replaced yet. This is a great time to go to Selhurst Park. A bit of Friday night football under the lights just screams of a 2 or 3-0 City for me. That's what it screams of. I'm sort of looking at the light now and I feel like it might be a little bit too bright, this thing, but I'm right at the end of the video now. Apologies if it's been a little bit difficult to put up with. I'll be more careful for the post-match view. However, like I said, match day vlog will be out tomorrow. I'll try and get it out tomorrow night. I should be able to get it out tomorrow night. It's one I'm very excited for. I thought the Etihad was absolutely bouncing for that Bournemouth game. A very good welcome for Maresca. Very good welcome back for the players. I think everyone's just excited that football's back. And look, I've got no doubt that it'll be the same for Crystal Palace. It's their first game back as Conference League winners at Selhurst, you know what I mean? So they'll probably all still be on cloud nine. They'll be singing, they'll be dancing, and they'll make it hard for us. They'll make it difficult for us. That's what they do. They're an ugly side. It's an ugly stadium, Selhurst Park. Not one of my favourites, but I think City should have enough quality once again to get it over the line. I like the start to the season that I think City have on paper. I liked some stuff that I've seen in the Bournemouth game. I think there's something we can grow from. Certain holes there already being plugged, like Bouaddi, like potentially Fernandez, even Allen. Who's Allen? We don't know. Time will tell. But yeah, I'm excited for it anyway. Make sure to keep an eye on the channel. Subscribe. Turn your notifications on. You know what I mean? So you want to be there straight away for City's. I'll have a nice thumbnail of me screaming, celebrating, like hopefully another last minute winner. Maybe not. It's stressful, but you'll see me cheering, City scoring. With a caption about City winning. City off to winning ways. There's something about City winning anyway, fingers crossed. I mean, the Bournemouth match they've vlogged done better than I ever expected it to be fair. I think everyone's just happy for football to be back. But I received a lot of good feedback, some positivity off the back of it. So thank you to that. Thank you to everyone who watched it, showed some support on it. And same again, please, tomorrow night, Selhurst Park. City continuing winning ways. Fingers crossed. I'll see you then anyway. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts on everything I've said in the comments. Hopefully the lighting hasn't been too difficult for you or too frustrating. I'll see you soon. Anyway, all the best. Look after yourselves. Happy Thursday. Enjoy your Friday. Come on, City. Oh, and safe travels getting down to London. I know what them trains can be like. Difficult.